Oh God, I really went for it there, and my voice just
Wow.
that was awful. I thought I was gonna hit this very melodious note coming into the show, and then complete start. These allergies been getting me. Aaron Murray should have heard me open my morning show today. It was pathetic. I should have been fired on the spot. What's going on though? You heard me mention Aaron Murray. I am T-Bob Hebert, and we are Snaps, your favorite daily college football podcast. I'm feeling incredibly loose today. Shout out Crystal Poche. Just got my body work done. Arguably too loose. You can probably see it in my vibe. Generally I'm kind of a little wiry, I don't even think I've had a coffee today, Aaron. I'm kind of just chilling out. You know what I'm excited for? I'm excited for some Mandalorian. I'm excited for some Mandalorian. I'm excited for some Masters coming up over the next few days. Excited to break down some Georgia football talk and Stetson Bennett arrest video, which, Brum, I want to make sure to be clear at the beginning of today's show. We have the Stetson video ready to roll.
We will whenever we get there.
Okay. That's yes. That is why.
Now we're communicating. Yes. I like it.
Yes. This is how we're going to cover. Yes, I'm trying to do a better job here. Hey, huge shout out to everyone who hangs out with us here on youtube.com/the volume every single day. Get in the chat and we talk to you all day, and it's so much fun hearing what everybody thinks and has to say. Aaron, what's up, man? How did AMP go today without me? Did you do your big Masters meal?
No, I was in the middle of breaking down. First off, ni hao, everyone. I was in the middle of breaking down.
We'll get into this.
Yeah, we'll get into this. I was breaking down what they were serving this year. We actually had a caller on AMP. So the caller called in right at me, breaking down the menu. So if you do listen to AMP, we are taking live callers now. And we ended up talking a lot of Avatar and the future of Avatar and what we expect in the third, fourth, and fifth sequel. So, it was some good stuff. So missed out on it. I did not get into the menu discussion of if I won the Masters, what would I essentially create for my menu?
Well, good. I've got two menus. I'm ready to go. If you're ready to go, we can do it this show. We don't have a ton on today's show to really sink our teeth into.
That's a great start to a show, T-Bob. Hey, everyone. We really don't have a lot to say.
I told you, I'm feeling loose to a point where honesty is potentially a downfall of the show. Aaron's learning Mandarin. Aaron's learning Mandarin, okay, which is actually legitimately I had no idea where this was coming from. All of a sudden, he's looking down a sheet. He's talking about ni hao, gunja,
Naren.
There we go. Yep.
Baoshi, Shu. Yep. There's my day one Mandarin notes.
And if I remember, Shu is book, correct?
Shu is book.
Oh, look at that, dude. Oh, how about that? Look, Shadows of the Empire, a little old, no longer canon Star Wars. Never read it before. Got it for $1 at the bookstore the other day.
Your boy Timothy Zahn, I believe.
Yeah. Timothy Zahn. That is right. Who's also written a lot of the new canon stuff. But no, I'm sorry. I apologize. Steve Perry. Now Zahn did the original Thrawn trilogy.
That's what. Either way, I was confused. That's on me.
Really, really good stuff right here. Pocket paperback, way better than all of y'all's phones and tablets and e-reading devices. I love having the actual physical book still in my hands. So, Aaron, why are you learning Mandarin? Is it because you're looking to be a better businessman and expand your foreign portfolios?
No, not trying to do that. So my wife is half Japanese, speaks fluent Mandarin, and our son starts a full immersion Mandarin program in August where he will literally, I think 3 or 4 days out of the week, they will only speak to him in Mandarin. So I don't want to be left out of the conversation. Her dad is Dutch and never learned Mandarin. He knows a few languages, but not Mandarin. And so Sharon, her brother, and her mom would always speak Mandarin in the house, and he always was left out of the conversation. So I don't want them talking shit behind me that I'm some stupid white boy that can't speak, Mandarin Chinese. So I'm learning it now. So Rosetta Stone, shout out Rosetta Stone. 30 minutes a day, baby. We're going to learn this thing.
Hold on, Brum. Surely Rosetta Stone sponsors podcasts, right? Gift sales. get with sales, because I'll learn a language. I don't know if I want to learn Mandarin. Yeah, I'm not gonna learn Mandarin. Sorry.
It's the most spoken language in the world, T-Bob. Most spoken language.
How in the fuck did I know that was coming? I feel like I've been yelled at anytime Mandarin's been mentioned in my entire life from the time I was 8 years old. Somebody can't wait to just yell, "It's actually the most spoken language in the entire world." You always, you're taking French. Well, I'm taking Mandarin because soon enough we'll all be speaking Mandarin. Which actually in the Murray household sounds like it's about to be true. Yeah, we're doing French. I agree, Trent, Richie. That's all I care about. And
do you think it would turn Sharon on if tonight, in bed I start speaking to her in Mandarin? Do you think that would get the juices going a little bit?
I think your accent is so raw that it would feel more fumbling and awkward, like it was your first time having sex. Like you would be essentially a phonetic virgin, and I don't know. I mean, maybe she's kind of into that though, right? She takes your little Mandarin V card, first Mandarin dirty talk. I don't know, dude.
I would be careful. I still got 6 weeks of being careful here. I don't want to get her too riled up.
How do you? Oh crap! This is not a way to do good jokes by forgetting your joke right before you're about to say it. Sheesh, guys! I had a night last night. Okay, the kids still aren't sleeping. Okay, I was up 3:30. I was up like 3 to 4:30, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to get an hour sleep. 4:30, 5:30. Next thing I know, I didn't admit this on my morning show. I woke up at 6:35, and the show started, and I fucking made it somehow, but it was just an awful show.
Have you ever missed a morning show? Have you ever slept in?
No. One time early on when I just come from doing night radio, I was 5 minutes after the show time late. But no. I normally get in there by 5:30 or 6. So it was panic time for your boy. It's been a rough day, but Chris got me feeling good.
All right, so I do have a question from Bilbo in the chat saying, does the missus know I'm learning it? So this was the deal. I was playing a quick 9 yesterday. I was going to do this regardless. I've kind of told her I was going to do this. Playing a quick 9 yesterday. And there was a couple playing in front of me. And I was like, man, you know what? It'd be so fun to play around a golf with Shut up, T-Bob.
I didn't say anything.
It'd be so fun to play around a golf. This is the G version. This is the G version. It'd be so nice to play around a golf with Sharon, and it'd be fun. So I texted her and said, "Hey, listen, I will buy Rosetta Stone right now. Start learning Mandarin tomorrow. If you will start working on your golf game." And she agreed to it. So she knows I'm learning it, and she's gonna start working on her golf game. So
I think it's a really appropriate and important that you attached an end goal that you also want beyond learning Mandarin here, because anytime I've ever tried to learn a language, like with like a Duolingo or something like that, right, I find the first week I'm gung-ho about it, right? Like I'm all in. And then one day you do a little less than you're supposed to, you let it slip, I'll make it up the next, and then, before you know it, the house of cards comes tumbling down. So I think this is a good job by you, because with the added incentive of additional golf, which we all know is truly your number one love on this earth, you have a better chance of sticking with it for sure.
I did see a great tweet the other day. I forgot who it was from, but it was from a female who said, "Things my husband will do for golf, but not for me. Wake up early, buy clothes, like a list of like 5 things." And I'm like, oh my God, is it that bad that yes, like I would gladly wake up at 4:00 in the morning if I knew I was going to play 36 holes. But if my wife just like randomly asked me like to wake up at 4:00 in the morning to like have sex, I'm like, can we just like wait till later? Like, no.
Yeah,
like,
no, absolutely. But I mean, to be fair, it's way easier to have sex and play 36 holes of golf, right? I mean, like one is way rarer than the other. So, like whatever, dude. I mean, look, once you've been married for long enough, it's still great and it's fun every now and then, but it's not, I feel like Jim's dad at this point in my life. It's not so pressing. It doesn't have to happen all the time, but when it does, it's great and it's excellent and it's wonderful.
Unless you're Pippin's wife, that's it.
Jesus, dude. I still can't believe Larsa. I think about it more than I should.
I still think it's you haven't mentioned it yet this week. It's impressive.
In the end, Blake Walters says, so Aaron's learning Mandarin to play more golf. Like that, yes, that is what you can actually, when you trim all the fat and we get down to the brass tacks, even though I don't know what brass tacks means, that is essentially what we're talking about here.
36. I do like the poll going on right now. Would you rather have sex or play 36 holes? Say it, Augusta.
30. Oh crap! I accidentally clicked sex. Somebody redo my vote and vote 36 holes because that's not true. I'd rather do 36 holes. Again, I've been having sex, for a long time now. Okay, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's still super cool. Great. But like, what are we talking about? I do love this from Klesko 12, and then we'll get to the actual show. I feel like it's a Thursday. You know why? I'm not working on Good Friday. So, like, I already got one mind in the week. I got one leg in the weekend already. Klesko 12, the good thing about Rosetta Stone is Aaron will always be able to say, the boy is under the airplane. Very true. Very true. You learn a lot of, like, solid, basic nouns and verbs that you can combine into pretty needless sentences. But I guess, like, maybe you could, in an emergency, you can get the message across. Is that, and I hope that Klesko is named after Ryan Klesko. He was a beast back in the day. All right, let's talk a little UJ. We'll start, or actually, Brom, I'm going to let you make a producer decision here. Okay, do we want to do video, Masters meal, or UJ? Okay, there we go. The Stetson Bennett rest video. Here it is.
Let me see your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Put both hands in the air.
He's just like, oh, fuck, at this moment.
Keep your hands up.
Yeah. Pit of your stomach, blood draining out your face. It's a bad feeling.
Oh, this is like when your mom walks in on you and your heart stops.
We got a few calls about you.
What were you doing?
On the front door.
What any other 12-year-old boy was doing. Pure panic.
If all else fails, then unfortunately you have to go to the drunk tank and sleep off all the alcohol, all right?
You been to a drunk tank, T-Bob?
Down for a couple minutes. I'm going to go try to see if I can't find your phone.
We can get there.
Leave it over there by one of the doors. Right here. Watch it.
God damn, man. I can't move my fucking wrist. This is fucked up, bro. This is way too tight, bro.
You're just going to have to...
damn.
I double-checked the cuffs, all right?
You double-check the cuffs.
All right. Sit tight. Just sit tight for a minute.
I can't move.
Tight quarters. That is some tight-ass quarters.
Why don't you just undo he
can't move.
A little bit. Jesus.
I love how he asked to get the handcuffs removed.
Y'all gonna give me a shot to fucking answer this shit or what?
He was saying,
thank you, sir. Well, it seems like they will.
Do you have anything on you that we need to know about? Any illegal drugs or anything?
Listen, brother, y'all won't give me my hands.
So right now you're under arrest for public intoxication, okay? So we weren't able to find any phone over there where you were last seen, all right? Did a pretty extensive search over there.
Thank goodness they didn't find anything.
Right.
Everything I worked for 20 years ruined. But y'all boys just looking out for me, aren't you? Thank you, sir.
See, I don't get that last part.
It's called sarcasm. He was being sarcastic to the.
Why even bring it up? Like, well, you boys looking out for me? Like, why? Like, I don't get the.
Because I'm sure an officer said, like, look, man, we're just trying to help you. Or like, hey, man, like, look, we're just doing what we have to do. I don't know. So, okay, look, I think Thomas Stair in the chat kind of nails it though. He says this is underwhelming. And don't get me wrong, there are undeniably funny parts of this Stetson Bennett video, right? Like who said it in the chat? Like Fonzarelli, bro, he's so little. I thought he could fit easy back there. Like, why are the backs of cop cars so tiny? I love the part when Stetson starts narrating his own adventure. Like, y'all gonna give me a shot to answer this shit? And then they start taking him out. He's like, well, it seems they will. Like, he's very much just talking himself. So, like, I find, like, yeah, there are drunk, funny elements to this, but at the end, dude, I got to come to Stetson's defense here. Does he look like a bit of an asshole? Sure. In the grand scheme of things and stuff that we've seen on film and everything else, like, it could have been infinitely worse. Like, he kind of just had the same chip on his shoulder that he seems to have played football with constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'm kind of saying, look, man, no harm, no foul. It is what it is. You weren't driving or anything. Keep it, just keep it moving. I'm fine. I'm fine, Stetson. It is funny though. And it sucks for him that he has to now deal with this stuff.
I don't think this is a big, the incident overall isn't a big deal. It goes back to when it first happened, and we talked about it a little bit. It still is more of a reminder to GMs and coaches that this is what he was doing instead of at the Senior Bowl. Like, you hope that conversation was over and they could look past it, and you've had opportunities to meet with them and talk to them and be face to face, and then get to know you and you know them and all that good stuff. And now all of a sudden, 6-foot quarterback who is really good. I think he's really good, but maybe not that elite status. One small negative image in a coach's mind is not what you need, because all of a sudden, come the third, fourth round, say there's 2 quarterbacks picked in the 4th round, and it comes down to you and someone else. And all of a sudden that question comes into the coach's mind of, he was out getting drunk instead of playing football. And I view both these guys the same. Yes, if both guys are as athletic and talented, you do go a little bit to what they are off the field. And now, once again, this is just another late reminder in the process of what happened a couple months ago. So I think he'll be fine. Like I said, maybe it costs him half a round, maybe. I'm sure he's a smart kid. He does a great job on the board. I'm sure he's done a great job in all the interview processes. He did, a pretty good job at the pro day. He's a 4th to 6th round pick. And from there, you just got to go win a job, man. Go win a damn job. But I don't think it's that bad. Like you said, the video is not bad. The video is not bad.
It could have, dude. It could have been infinitely worse. So I know, it's like we were texting the group, and like Brum was like, "Oh man, he kind of pulled the, do you know who I am?" And he kind of did, but like there's a bit of that vibe, but like it could have been so much worse. Like
that was my takeaway as well. As it could have been a lot worse.
Yes. Like if you go full, do you know who I am? That's when you're like, you're going to be fucked for this. And like, I'm going to get you in so much trouble. Like, do you know who you're messing with? Like, I have so many connections.
To Brett McHenry, this is like a 2.5.
Yeah. So you know what? Honestly, I think good for Stetson that the video came out. Is that weird to say? Because no. I think you almost watch it.
I forgot about it.
I guess I kind of forgot about it too, maybe.
I forgot about it. I moved on from it. This is now we're talking about it again. It's back in the news cycle. So I guess it's good for him at all. Yeah.
Maybe not all, but I mean, even citing a half round knock is tough. Like, I guess, maybe a general manager or two is now out on him, but I don't know. Maybe that equates to a half round. Still, you know what? Here on Snaps, I think I feel pretty confident saying, look, Stetson, it happens. It sucks. I thought you acquitted yourself pretty well on the whole. And man, I mean, just whatever. You just can't let it happen again. That's the thing. People let you make one mistake. They won't let you make the same mistake twice. I mean, that is like one of the coaching golden rules. The way to piss off a coach is not to make a mistake. It's to make the same mistake twice.
Which is that I wouldn't say like that's his personality. Like, I don't expect Stetson to be getting pissed drunk and getting trashed when he's on the NFL team. Like, he's a pretty focused kid.
No, he wanted to let loose.
He's got the chip on his shoulder.
He's been wound so tight for 2 years now. And then he just had a week where he's
told that he sucks. He's been told that he's a part of an 8-5 football team. Like, he just needs to just let it go a little bit. So, it just comes down to the timing. I mean, I had a buddy of mine who was straight and narrow his whole time in college. All of a sudden, during the 4 months where you're supposed to be perfect, eat right, sleep right, work out right, stretch, go to yoga, all that good stuff, he gets a DUI. It's like, dude, you didn't drink in college. Why all of a sudden would you start drinking during the most important 4 months of your life before the biggest interview of your life? And it cost him 2 rounds. Cost him
got
2
too
rounds.
Loose.
He had a DUI though. DUI is obviously, on a different level than what, Stetson having to go to the drunk tank.
Yeah.
But still, like, this is teams kind of say, if I can't trust you for 4 months when millions of dollars are on the line, how can I trust you for the longevity of a contract?
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where, you just ask him about it, and depending on how you feel about the answer, then you keep it rolling.
If a team really
all right.
likes you, I'll say this. If a team really likes you and they've got to know you the past 2 weeks, this was not enough to sway them. This is more of a team that is on the fence of Stetson. Do we want him? Do we not? Do we think that he benefited from being on an elite team? Do we not like his size? If you're on the fence, I think the entire incident pushed you to the side of maybe if he's there like in the 6th or 7th round. But if you like him, to me, this doesn't dissuade you at all from drafting him where you want to draft him.
Yeah. Blake Walters, I think, nails it. He says he proved everyone wrong with the stress of the whole team on him, because if they lose, everybody would have blamed him. So he was just letting off steam. That part was over. I mean, that is something that we probably don't fully appreciate is as we talk about Stetson, like, man, how could he be so hard, right? Why does he have such an edge to him? I mean, if you really think about the pressure that was applied to him, right? Because, I mean, that's a really good insight from Blake there. Like, it didn't matter how you lost the game. Any loss would immediately be laid at his feet. I mean, look at the SEC championship the year they won the first natty. It was immediately laid at his feet.
Quarterback,
he just was not good enough.
That's every quarterback. I disagree. Every quarterback, the first person, we always say it, you get all the praise, but you get all the blame. Like every time we lost a game,
I was
agree,
the first
one that got blamed, and you have to take responsibility for it. It is what it is.
The quarterback is always going to get.
There's a little bit more pressure on him. There was a little bit more on Stetson.
Yes,
but it's not like from David Green to Stafford to Shock to myself. It's not like when we lost a game, the reporter's like, "Oh, it wasn't Aaron's fault. It was this guy's fault." No, it was like, what did the quarterback do wrong that could have been better to make? It's the position we play. Is the position
that is absolutely fair. It's absolutely fair. But it's like Dan Carlin says with the Japanese on his World War II podcast, right? The Japanese are like everyone else, only more so. And I think he had all that insane pressure that you all had to deal with, only a bit more so because he was constantly felt like he was going to be benched, and because the fans knew that this was a national championship good team, right? And like when you have those teams and those rosters that you feel like are good enough, there's that pressure like not to waste it. But maybe I'm just guilty of falling too deep into the narrative hole, because you are right. Every quarterback gets generally the majority of the blame when you lose, even if like the offense was awesome and the defense actually screwed up at the end.
Hey, and listen, and who is it? Jay in the chat said CJ Stroud didn't get any blame for loss. I disagree. He played like crap, and he did get the blame. He threw 2 interceptions versus Michigan at home. Then they scored 23 points.
Well, I think he meant more in the playoff loss. He didn't get crap in the playoff loss, though.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone could. Like, if Stetson played like that and lost the game, like he played near damn perfect. I mean, that's the extreme case where you lose, but you literally played perfect and you put up 40-something points against one of the best defenses. You're not going to get blamed for that incident. So. So that's Jay. So there's exceptions to every rule, right? And that is one of the rare exceptions. I would love to see a hypothetical alternate timeline where we could do that with Stetson. Like he loses one of these games where he actually played really well, and would people have the maturity to be like, oh no, that wasn't on Stetson? Yeah, every game
of course they wouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't think they would have either, bro. I don't think they would have.
Stetson did not play his best. He was part
no,
of the
that's
reason
also
why
true.
they
Yeah. No, we never got the
hard.
scenario I'm talking about. Yeah, we never got the scenario I'm talking about where he played great and they lost the game, because quite frankly, these Georgia teams the past couple of years have been too good for their quarterback to play great and for them to lose the game. It's just not quite possible right now, which I guess is a perfect segue, because we got one more little quarterback. This is Georgia Bulldog show day. We got one more Georgia's topic, as the Athletic has a pretty good spring piece right now about Brock Vandagriff, Carson Beck, and Gunnar Stockton, right? Am I right off the top of my head here? Gunnar Stockton. All competing for that Georgia quarterback job. Of course, if you don't know who they are, I believe Beck is the guy who's been there for 3 years, biding his time. Now it's finally his turn. Vandagriff is a sophomore, I want to say. Of course, former 5-star, super highly recruited. And then Gunnar Stockton is the freshman new guy to the mix. Aaron, I know you're plugged in. to that Bulldog pipeline. What's the news coming out of Athens?
News out of Athens is all playing well, but it's Carson's job. I don't think there's any question from anyone. Yeah, it's Carson's job.
Okay.
I anticipate Carson to be the first quarterback out, to be with the ones on G-Day, to play well. He knows the playbook better than anyone else. I think that's the difference. Like Kirby came out the other day and kind of was breaking down what makes Georgia's offense different than others from a quarterback responsibility, because we see a lot of offenses nowadays, up-tempo, spread you out, one read for the quarterback, pretty easy, not a lot of checking at the line of scrimmage, stuff like that. I'm not saying teams don't. I'm just saying there's a lot of the elite teams that just kind of line up and play ball, make it really easy on the quarterback by, like I said, formation and tempo. Georgia puts a lot on their plate. And Bobo did this with me too. Monken did this with Stetson. And obviously you have the carryover from last year's offense. There's a lot on their plate when it comes to responsibilities at the line of scrimmage, checking, mic declarations, remiking a defense, putting the offense line in the right position. There's a lot going on. You are the conductor of the ship once the ball is, or essentially once the play is called into the huddle. So for Carson, he knows the offense the best. And there's a trust from the coaching staff that we can give him a lot. He can handle it. He can digest it, and he can put us in the best situation to go succeed. I think Gunner is extremely talented. He's a great arm, a little bit of a gunslinger mentality, but I still think he's learning the process. He's still learning the playbook and digesting it, because there's one thing to be in the film room and say, okay, in this situation, I would check the play. But as you and I both know, it's completely different to getting on the line of scrimmage where you don't have that vantage point of an all 22 cam, trying to decide, is it really too high? Is it single high? Is the safety coming down? Is he not? Is that linebacker plussed over? And then making the decision of what you want to check to. You need to be experienced that. And he just hasn't had that experience. So number one job for any quarterback, gain the trust of your coaching staff. You get that usually through experience. Carson has that experience, gives him the edge, gives him the comfort to go out there and play more freely. So I think it's his job. I would be massively, massively shocked if he's not QB1 come next season. And he's played well in spring.
There you go. So you heard it here first. Snaps, breaking news. Carson Beck gonna be Georgia's starting quarterback. Do they have like VR setups does Georgia have like VR setups for the quarterbacks to use? Where I've been did you see the commercial? Because you just got a VR headset, right?
Yep.
Didn't you?
I do.
Did you see the commercials for the new NFL game that they were showing during this last NFL season? I think it's called like NFL
something
Primetime.
Really cool. You know who has something cool is LSU. Have you been to LSU's little VR
room?
The
walkthrough room. Yeah, the walkthrough room.
That's pretty badass.
Yes, I like the walkthrough room, but I actually think, but that's great for a team environment. Individually, I think I still want a helmet on. Anyway, whatever. I downloaded that NFL game on my Oculus, and it's not like I'm not going to tell anybody that it's necessarily a great game, but like I was blown away by the potential for learning how to diagnose defenses in that thing. Because you're playing quarterback, and I'm walking up, and I'm like, okay, it's an even front. It's an under front. It's all very basic, right? They're not doing anything crazy, but like you could do that. And it's way better reps than, like you said, watching the all 22 on film. If you're actually getting the experience of I'm standing at the line and I'm looking around and I can see it.
Well, some NFL teams have this. I don't know if any college teams are doing this. But I remember when I was with the Cardinals for a little bit, they would put essentially a camera stick right behind the quarterback. It'd be a few yards behind, but it could zoom into almost the quarterback view a little bit, and it had multiple cameras on it, so you could see essentially the entire field, the whole 360, and you could get the vantage point. So Carson, after every practice, would go back in. He would put on the VR goggles, and he would rewatch practice that way. So it would essentially be like him redoing the reps, and I would watch it because it'd be a good way for me, a young guy who doesn't get reps in practice, to kind of put it on and see what Carson was looking at.
Wait, where was this?
Read,
where was
see
this
the
at?
safeties going.
It's in Philadelphia?
Arizona Cardinals did it.
Oh, in Arizona. Okay.
Yep.
Carson Palmer.
So a lot of teams do that. Carson Palmer.
Okay.
Yep.
So you've experienced it then. Am I like, is it like, so that's even to a further extent than I had, because you're looking at actual live bodies. I feel like that's got to be invaluable. Like I was just thinking, like, man, when I have a kid and he's playing football, like I'm going to hopefully there'll be something like that out there, because like if I'm a center, that's the best possible practice I could get to diagnose fronts. But it sounds like you like to make the mic call. You don't want the center to make the mic call.
We work together. There's a little, like early in my career, like Ben,
first, and then you change it.
Yeah, usually Ben or David would change it. So we get to line of scrimmage because, obviously the offense line's first out. So you know this. I mean, offense line's walking, center's like Mike 56. Yep. And you guys don't have the vantage point of seeing rotation like I do a lot of times at the quarterback spot. So if I felt some sort of rock and roll, I always had free reign to redeclare. If we had, slide to the will, if I felt, Mike Sam pressure, hey, remike, Roger, remike it to the mic, that way the back could pick up the nickel, stuff like that.
Dude, we didn't even ask our quarterbacks to do that.
That's fun. That's fun for me. That was the fun part of it.
Oh, no, I agree. Like, it's crazy. I felt like in 3.5 months with the, in St. Louis, like in an NFL environment with those practices, that film study, playbook study, I learned more about identifying defenses than I literally did in 5 years at LSU. Like it was shocking to me how after 3 months, I was like, oh, this is actually football. And then I talked to my buddy Joe Barksdale, who was in the league over like 7 years. And I remember him calling me going into year 6. And he's like, I think I finally know how to play and call football. So it's just like the complexity and the depth with which you can go. It's just unending given how much mentality and physicality it kind of combines there.
T-Bob.
God, yeah.
I have breaking news.
What happened?
We have an email with the subject line Unix. Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it on air?
Oh, no, I would love to read it on air. Are you going to drop? Can you drop the chat?
I'm forwarding it to you literally as we speak.
Okay, hell yes, dude.
So you guys
and he sent that emailed in.
He hit that email to handsonballs53 at gmail.com, which now I'm falling in love with because it's the goddamn most unwieldy and dumbest email title ever for a show called Snaps to Have. I understand the logic behind how we got there, but let's go, dude. Handsonballs53 at gmail.
I knew you would get there, and speaking of getting there, I just emailed you.
Okay. Yeah. Man, I miss that. Is like kind of crazy. That is one thing I miss doing. Identifying defenses and making mic calls. It's like kind of a sneaky fun part.
If you watch the film, you could practice it, but not a big film guy over there.
No, sorry. Now I'm getting distracted by this. Okay, this is a long read. Are you ready?
Let's go.
This comes from a fossilized dog in Colorado. I've recently started watching the podcast, and I really enjoy the show. Aaron mentioned his vasectomy, and somehow this admission devolved into T-Bob's extended commentary on eunuchs and castration. Not exactly the preamble I expected on a show dedicated to college football, but hey, T-Bob comes from Louisiana, and folks there are great cooks and musicians, but otherwise strange. True. As a UJ alum and fan, I was feeling a bit smug at Superior as that crazy Cajun rambled on about pirates left to die on desert islands because they couldn't pee. Yes, take a moment to think on that one. But then Aaron follows up with the knuckle/anus business and knocks me right off my elevated pedestal. And I have to ask myself, did Munkin really want the NFL, or did Bobo just scare him off? I did want to correct one point T-Bob brought up in his disquisition on eunuchs. While most of the unfortunates underwent the same procedure Bowser or your Angus steer endures today, the Ottomans did in fact go after both the beans and the stalk. This practice happened, according to legend, because one sultan noticed that his gelded stallion was nevertheless trying to mount mares. I've seen that as well, too. Consequently, williless eunuchs became all the rage in the Seraglio. Arab raiders would capture young boys in northern Africa, slice off everything, then bury the victim in sand up to their neck for hours. Most died, but a few survived and commanded more money than almost any other slave. These survivors were given a silver straw. See? Listen to this. These survivors were given a silver straw, which they kept the rest of their lives and would use to urinate. Well, keep up the good work, gentlemen. I had an old housemate and good friend when I lived in L.A. 40-something years ago who had the moniker T-Bone. I suppose this whole conversation brings that name to mind. Tom Christian, UF running back when Spurrier played and later on the Bengal roster for a season. T-Bob and T-Bone. If Tom were still with us, I might suggest you two team up. Former Blues band. All righty. Keep surprising me at my age. Surprise is a rare commodity. A fossilized dog in Colorado. Oh, my God, dude. Take a bow. That was so eloquent. That was so well written and
you're
funny.
The perfect person to read it.
And the timing on it, that was, man, that was, I won't say, I'll just use a first name. John, that was awesome, man. Thank you for saying this. And I feel a little vindicated, boys. So it sounds like if you chop off the stalk as well, you indeed cannot actually pee without some sort of assistance. So if I was a pirate left dickless on an island without a silver straw, then I die because of urine buildup. I still don't know if that last part is true, but yeah, it sounds awful. It sounds awful. Yeah. You know what sounds awful, Aaron? Having your genitals chopped off and being buried in sand for hours in the desert up to your neck. And if you survive, you get sold into slavery where you spend the rest of your life peeing the silver straw. It sounds truly awful. Oh, my God. Hands on balls.
Last thing I want after that. Just put a
hands on balls
knife to
53 at gmail.com. Trent Ridge says T-Bob was born in Georgia with his parents from way down the bayou in the middle of the swamp, or at least his dad. Yeah, my dad's from down the bayou. My mom is from Manny, Louisiana, which is very tiny, North Louisiana, which is very country. So I grew up in Georgia, but I have like the country North Louisiana, the Cajun South Louisiana, all in my blood. All right, Aaron, let's wrap up with Masters menu first.
Woo!
What do you got? What do you got?
All right, let me pull up the menu real quick from Scotty. All right, so his menu.
I know pull up his menu. This is Scheffler, right?
This was Scheffler's menu. Can you pull it up, Brum, by chance, so the viewers can see this?
Conversation about communication via at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I'm communicating right now. I can delay for.
Can I wash my hands of this?
What do you mean wash your hands?
What I'm saying, I want to wash my hands of this because I didn't call for a graphic that I didn't ask for.
No, this is me roasting Aaron. But yes, I will work on it.
I purposely sent it to the group chat to you today. Why else would I send this beautiful?
You send lots of things to the group chat.
I do send all things. So are we getting it, or do I just need to keep going?
You will get it in the next 45 seconds.
All right. So I'll give the little breakdown. So every year, the former champ. No, we do not keep talking. Former champ gets to build his menu at the Masters. So they bring in food from wherever the hell you want food to come from. They're going to make it happen. Because you know what? You won the greatest golf tournament in the freaking world. So Scotty was given his opportunity. He won it last year. You know what's crazy? So I took my mom last year to the Masters, her first time. So obviously she wants to see Tiger. So we're in the first hole. We sat at the first hole for like an hour and a half. We're literally – Tiger's butt was 5 feet from me. I could probably reach out and touch his little squishy tushy. And so she was all excited. Boom, Tiger goes, and the masses follow him. And I'm looking at the tee sheet, and 2 groups later is Scotty, Finau, and Adam Scott. I'm like, that's a hell of a threesome.
Dude.
Hell of a threesome. He's the number one player in the world. No one wanted to follow him, so we followed him the whole time. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. And obviously he won the thing.
Dude. It's hard to
here's his menu.
How much the masses are around Tiger in a golf tournament. It is. I went to the PGA last year, and obviously he was playing that Saturday where he made the cut, and I would say 40% of the people at the tournament.
You had the world
truly a god. He's a god among men, an angel.
You had the best player in the world tee off 2 groups behind him, and no one stayed to watch.
And so you just had prime time. So you had prime time view of Scheffler's entire round 1 that he ended up winning.
And Adam Scott has the most beautiful swing. I love Finau. I'm like, dude, this is an awesome group. I will gladly follow this group.
How is he about Tony Finau? Where he be now? You ever?
All right, so this is the menu: cheeseburgers, firecracker shrimp, tortilla soup, Texas ribeye steak, or blackened redfish. And then the best part, which I would keep this, the warm chocolate chip skillet cookie.
Fuck me.
All right. So my starters would be I love a good oyster. So give me some oyster starters here. Really get those juices going. Dude. Yeah, get the oysters. Or maybe a little tuna poke. Sound good to me.
Poke's great. Poke's fantastic.
From there, a nice Caesar salad, a nice, just really good Caesar salad. Love me a good Caesar salad.
God, I love a
Soup-wise,
room service Caesar salad. Oof,
yeah,
delicious.
so good. Soup wise, I'm gonna go with nice tomato bisque. Give me a nice sirloin steak, and then finish off with a warm chocolate chip cookie.
Actually, I feel like I gave tomato bisque too much love. I think it's pretty fucking weird that tomato bisque made your master's meal. I don't know that I've ever had a tomato bisque that is good enough that I'm like, wow, I need
Well,
more
I'm drawing a
of that
blank on what I
tomato
really
bisque.
want for some reason right now. So I said tomato bisque, but I really don't want the tomato bisque.
I mean, tomato
draw a
bisque
blank
now paired with an elite grilled cheese, tomato bisque, a
Yeah,
delicious
yeah.
little lunch, a sexy little lunch.
No,
I've
French
ever
onion
had.
soup. That's what I was thinking in my mind.
Oh,
French onion
okay,
soup.
yes. Now, okay,
Yes,
that makes
yes.
more sense.
I
That
was
makes more sense.
visualizing it. I just couldn't put the words together. So yes, French onion soup. We'll switch it out.
I would go with Okay. So I have two master's meals. Now I know you only get to choose one. I have one that, like, if I actually won the Masters in real life, this is probably what I would do because it would kind of honor where I'm from, and all the food's absolutely incredible, and it's also my favorite food, right? I would start, like you said, actually. I would start with raw oysters and then maybe like some hogshead cheese with some crackers. You ever had hogshead cheese? It's made with the
Sounds good,
brain of the pig left over in a boucherie, and it's like a little meat paste of sorts. You put it on crackers, it's delicious. We get an entree of crawfish etouffee, an entree of chicken and sausage gumbo, and then some blood sausage with rice on the side. Again, this would be a very boucherie theme, I guess, in a lot of ways. I guess you could work some crackle in there. The dessert is not anything particularly Cajun. I go with tres leches. I have a Nicaraguan aunt, and she always made tres leches, and it was fan-fucking-tastic. So that would be great, but it's not really necessarily honest to my heart. If I am just going about the foods that I love most, and I was not trying to pair elements together, if I'm just being completely honest, no, I think it would honestly be like fried chicken wings to start with some ranch to dip in them, and like breaded fried chicken wings. Chicken and sausage gumbo would still be on the menu, certainly. But then I would have a massive amount of sesame seed chicken and fried rice, but like specifically Americanized cheap ass Chinese, like a good version of like American Chinese sesame seed chicken. And
like a nice version of China Garden.
Yes. And then for dessert, I would do that same skillet chocolate chip cookie with some ice cream and a coffee. It sounds like a weird flavor profile when you put it all together, but I'll be damned if I would not slam that fucking meal. Fried wings, gumbo, sesame chicken, chocolate chip cookie. No.
I know you've done this. The chocolate chip cookie. I have to bring this up. I was an asshole father yesterday. So Maddox had his Easter egg hunt. So every kid was allowed to get 12 eggs. So we're in the car and I'm giving him the chocolate. And I'm like, some of the ones that I wanted, I'm, sneakily like making sure he doesn't see eating the chocolate. So we got to get to the point. He's like, Dad, I want more chocolate. I'm like, I'm still hungry. So there's no more left. And there's clearly 3 pieces left that I was sneaking to my left hand so he couldn't see me eating. He's like, Dad, what are you eating? I'm like, carrots. Carrots and celery.
I've done that exact same thing, dude. I've done that exact where like the other day in the car, I didn't want him because I told him, hey, we're not eating any of this Chick-fil-A until we get home. But goddamn, the fries smell good. And so I was grabbing them, and then I was like you said, palming it in my hand, turning my body to where they could only see my back silhouette, and then placing it in my mouth and trying to chew like very softly with a lightly closed mouth. The things you do. I also, what I'm guilty of is I am a very fast eater. And sometimes it boggles me how slow kids eat, and I'll assume they're done, and I'm like, "Ooh, this little delicious thing is mine now." And they're like, "They go, wait, where's my cookie? Oh, Dad!" And then they're like crying, like, "Hey, my cookie!" I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry, dude. I thought you were done. I apologize." That'll do it for today's show. Hope you had a ton of fun. I know we did. This is Snaps, youtube.com/thevolume. Subscribe to Snaps. You can just Google Snaps Podcast. Pops right up there if you listen to Apple, Spotify, whatever. We got a great show coming for you tomorrow. Probably a very fun show. Thursdays always are. And then I don't believe nothing on Friday. It's Good Friday. Everybody's off of work on Friday. Aaron, do you have any work Friday? I do not, dude.
I do not have any work Friday. Zero.
Oh, give it up. Give it up for the boys. So
unfortunately,
tomorrow
it's going to be pouring rain, so no golf.
It sounded like you said, unfortunately, it's just going to be porn. Like, you're just going to be like, I'm going to jerk off all Good Friday.
No work, no golf. I mean, there's only so many things a man can do. So,
hey, you're going to have the Masters to watch, though, right? Or is the Masters going to be delayed, do you think?
We'll find out. It's going to be just...
Damn. Also, you got to take me with you to the Masters one year. That is my dream, is to bucket list to go to the Masters. Are you going again this year or no?
I was going to go Friday into this weather. I'm not going to go sit in that just torrential downpour. So
QB1, bro. Am I right?
That's
I mean,
snobby.
people will literally cut their unborn child for Masters tickets, and Aaron can't be bothered to go out in a little rain. Wow.
Nope.
Look at that.
It literally says thunderstorms on Friday. So,
Aaron, have you ever been to a crawfish boil? Last question. Trent Ritchie wants to know.
Nope.
What? Okay, perfect.
What?
Perfect. Crawfish weather, spring football is the time to eat crawfish. We're going to teach you how to peel crawfish while you're down here. Damn, Blake, stay strong. Got to work Friday. Tax season's over. Push to the end. Hell yeah, man. All right, look, we love you. Thank you so much for everybody who, Jay Stubblefield here, lobster bisque, ribeye with baked potato, lava cake. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong there. Man, I'm so hungry now. I haven't eaten anything all day today. I'm about to go slam some food. All right, boys, we love you. Thank you. Huge thank you to Ryan Brumley, Paul Farrington, Pat Gunner, Adam Gracia, Danny Cardenas. Yeah, how about that? I'll take you to crawfish boil. You take me to the Masters. They're basically equivalent.
All right.
It's a great
the same. Yeah.
The same thing. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow for a brand new episode of Snaps.